My first couple times in trying to center down to unprogrammed worship, struggle. Not being raised in it at all, being raised in the Pentecostal tradition, I came to this, I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be listening to the light. And this isn't working.
What do Quakers mean by the inner light? Well, the inner light is also called by many different names by Quakers. The inward light, the light of Christ, that of God within.
Early friends got the expression from the first chapter of the Gospel of John, where we find in verse 9 the phrase, the true light, which enlightens everyone coming into the world.
The early friends understood that to be the light of Jesus Christ. It was not a metaphor, but it was the real presence of Christ within.
It was also called the seed because it represented something very small of God planted inside. And the phrase "the seed" suggests that that small thing might not grow if you block it up, if you ignore it, if you have all these distractions.
So it's very much of an energetic, alive thing. It's not just this sort of like light switch that kind of flips on or off depending on whether you see it. It's this force and a spirit that we all get to share and get to experience together. Hopefully if we're aware that it's there. So it's a process of being observant.
I guess the way for me to speak about the light that guides us is to think about what happens when we don't have light to guide us. So we're fumbling around in the dark. We're humans, we don't have night vision. We can't see where we're going.
One of the quotations that has always spoken to me is the instructions of an early Quaker named James Naylor, who says, he talks about those times in our lives where we feel surrounded by confusion and darkness, by spiritual, a sense of being lost or a sense of being in danger. And he says, "Art thou in the darkness? Well, mind it not. For if you mind it, it will feed thee more. It will grow in you," right? But stand still and act not, and wait in patience until light arises out of darkness to lead thee. And that has been my experience, that there is a power and a life that rises in those places of darkness in our lives if we can wait and open to it.
And so the light is that presence of God that illuminates for us. It might show us a way forward. It might embrace us and welcome us into the inward life.
It's experienced as an inward kind of an illumination that shows you things. It shows you oftentimes, first of all, what is not of the light or what's blocking the light.
The light was not simply a cozy fire to warm ourselves with on a wintry day. The light was a beacon, and this beacon spread its light over all those aspects of ourselves that we might prefer to admit weren't there. The light reveals to us, among other things, our own capacity to do terrible things, to do great harm in this world. And so the light was powerful, but it was also terrifying.
And then it shows you sort of God's truth or God's way, what the light is in its fullness, which is love and truth and peace and unity, justice, mercy, all of those wonderful attributes that we know come from God. And then it shows you how God wants you to live according to the light, so that those qualities of God can be manifest in society.
Holding someone in the light for me means that I'm directing my positive energy towards a person that is in need of support and love.
Last year, my friend passed away, and it was kind of difficult for me to really share that with everybody here, but I did. and I received just a wonderful, warm feeling from everybody. You know, there was a lot less sense of pity than there was just, I'm here for you, and just kind of giving your energy towards somebody and being present. I think that's when I was held in the light the most, because I asked for that help from the community here.
And that is so freeing. There's not an authority that I need to appeal to or try to seek from somebody else. It's here, and it's there, and it's in all of us together. And seeking my piece of that is incredible. But being in a community that is seeking that same thing, amazing. Like, what a thing to sit down and do every week. It gets me so excited. The light. Goodness gracious.